Hi everyone, good morning. Am I audible? Guys, could you please confirm in the chat box? Yeah, thank you guys. So today we are going to start Spring framework as per yesterday discussion. Okay, in yesterday video we uploaded in the YouTube guys. So if you visit our channel, Java Express channel, if you visit, so yesterday day one video completely we discussed about the course introduction. Whoever not yet joined in yesterday session, please go through watch this video guys. You will get complete course information and module wise what are the content we are way of teaching, everything we explained the yesterday session here. Okay, even today's session also we will be upload in this playlist. If you go to the playlist here Spring Boot live sessions 2023, all demo sessions are available in this video. Even who are attending an angular live sessions like a demo sessions will be available under angular live sessions folder. If you are not yet subscribed, if you subscribe and if you click a bell icon, you will get the notifications on time guys. And we have so many groups, but if you join one group, that is more than sufficient. Every day even we are uploading, see, if you see, this is our Telegram group. When you click here, now even in your search bar you can able to type, okay, like see here Java Express. Just you can type in the search bar Java Express official. If you click, automatically it is navigate to the Java Express group guys. So you will get all the updates here. You can join only one group, you no need to join the multiple groups. And if specific to your batch code, we created one Telegram group 22 batch code for a system class updates. You will get on 22 JE updates guys. Okay, hope if you done payment, if you didn't get any confirmation, please drop a message to the admin team, so they will be guide you the next step process guys. Okay, hope quickly let me start our session. Why Spring framework? Today we'll discuss about what is Spring framework. Okay, basically what is a framework, how many types of frameworks we have. Okay, why we need to choose, what is the importance of the Spring framework. We'll create a small application also end of the session. Okay, first we'll go for some theory sessions and basically some kind of a basic fundamentals, then we can go for the next step. So as I said, course learning plan 2023, we are going to start with the Spring basics. Once we are good about the Spring basics, then we will be start about the Spring Boot guys. Okay, yeah. Now what is a framework? Okay, guys, maybe we have a so many frameworks are available. Maybe you can think like a collection is a framework. In the Java 8 we have a collections concept. We have collection is also is a framework here. We have Spring is a framework, Spring Boot is a framework, Structs is a framework. We have a framework, right? Now basically what is a framework means, framework is a semi implemented application. It's kind of a already logic is available, and it will be provide very good environment to prepare enterprise application as per the developer convenience. For a simple example, uh, if you know the data structures, if you want to implement a linked list, normal example, so previously you need to take care of creating the linked list, adding the node, deleting the node, and removing the node, whatever. These are all the operations as a developer you need to implement. Whenever in Java collections is introduced, that piece of code is common for every programmer. So they are come up with a linked list data structure, is nothing but ready-made class is available to perform all the operations. In the same structure, in enterprise level, if you want to create any application like enterprise application, these frameworks are useful to us. Basically, these frameworks will provide a standard template to design our application. Suppose you want to design a web application, they are given some standard flow we have. Even if you want to develop a distributed application, we have some standard flow. If you want to develop MVC based application, I mean to say web application. So that template will be available how you can design your application also. So that's why these frameworks are very important. Okay, and it is providing a standard flow of execution between the components. Now if you can create any number of classes are available inside a framework, so many number of libraries are available. Inside the libraries you have dot class files. Normally if you want to run a Java file, you need dot class file. Okay, if you want to run the jar file, you need so many number of classes. Now if you have multiple libraries, we can convert into a framework here. Okay, now if you know the frameworks are importance are able to reduce the development time. So development time will be reduced if you use the framework here. And if development time is reduced means automatically, I mean to say, productivity will be increased and development cost also will be decreased here. So that people are expecting, if you know only the core Java, for the backend developer that is not sufficient, you should have at least a backend framework. Okay guys, please switch off your video. Yeah, thank you. So these frameworks are able to improve the productivity, development time will be decreased and development cost also will be decreased. Now in the market, how many types of frameworks are available? In the how many market available? Now we have two types of framework guys. One for the web framework, another for the application framework. Like even interviews also, sometimes if you are a beginner completely, people normally they will be asked, hey, do you know what are the frameworks, you know what are the types of frameworks, can you explain? Now if you say we have a web frameworks and application frameworks we have. Now, previously, web frameworks are so popular. Later on time, slowly, application frameworks are slowly popular. Now, we'll see. Now, what is a web framework? Okay, guys, no need to worry about the notes. I will be share you the notes after the demo sessions, and I will be share you the material also. Don't worry about these points. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you see, web frameworks will provide very good environment to prepare and execute web application. Then exactly what is a web application again? When I say web application means, okay, your user client, you need to communicate application via UI based Gmail web application, Flipkart web application, wherever you are seeing in the browser, if you see the UI, wherever you see the registration page, login page, these are all kind of your web applications. Previously, to develop these web applications, we have the structs framework, JSF framework, X work. We have a lot of okay web frameworks are available here. Now, even now also some legacy projects still using the structs, but we will not learn the structs nowadays. Everyone is new learning the brand new Spring Boot framework here. So we will not use much. By using the structs, we can develop the web application. You can think like this. Hope you guys are clear about what is a web framework. And second one is the application framework. Application framework. Now have a look here. Application framework are able to provide very good environment to prepare and execute any type of, I'm here when I say web framework, we are using only web application. But if you are using application framework, any type of normal Java application, standalone application, J2EE application, like standalone application, web application, distributed application, and database related applications we can develop. That is the meaning of application framework here. Now, example, we are using the Spring framework. Now, if you're using the Spring framework, you can develop any kind of application, normal in core Java, desktop based application we can call, right? Those applications you can develop using servlets, JSP and JDBC. You can create the web application. Now you can use using Spring framework, you can do. Previously, we have a EJB, Enterprise Java Bean, to develop distributed applications. But even using application framework, I mean to say Spring framework is responsible. Okay, you can create any kind of application. Hope you guys clear. If you take a database, now easily we can integrate ORM framework. That is also a application framework only. Okay, hope you guys are clear what is the difference between the web frameworks versus application framework. Now, then what is the difference between the structs, JSF and a Spring framework? Just to get some an idea, just I'm giving a small points. Now, if you take the structs, main focus is able to provide only on the controller layer. The structs is responsible for the only the controller layer, the responsibility. If you know the structs, you will get some good idea. If you take the JSF framework, okay, it is able to provide focus only on the view layer, UI page. View layer, the concentration will be there if you use the JSF framework. But if you use the Spring framework, it can able to focus all the layers of the application. Like it will be concentrate on the controller layer, view layer, service layer, database layer, and any messaging systems. Okay, any cloud libraries. By using Spring framework, you can develop, you can focus all the layers of enterprise application. So that's why if you want to learn any framework, okay, in the Java backend like a Spring Boot, Spring is the main important concept. If you are good at the Spring framework, remaining all the modules will be easy. This is the heart of the all the frameworks here, guys. Okay, hope you guys are clear. Now, by using the Spring framework, which type of applications you can develop? I can say as a, you can build a variety of applications using Java, Spring and Spring Boot, like a web applications you can develop. REST API is nothing but web services. Here we have a SOAP based web services, and REST API is nothing but RESTful web services. Now the primary goal is to build our REST API development. Okay, and even if you want to develop using full stack, even if you want to include the UI, yes, you can build using the Spring. Is providing one of the module called Spring MVC. Using Spring MVC, you can develop the presentation logic, also view layer. You no need to declare any structs, and JSF is not required. By using the Spring Boot, okay, we can develop the microservices also. Microservices also here you can do. Here, irrespective of any application you are building, Spring providing core features to us. Spring core features, these core features are important in order to build any kind of application. Like in the Spring framework, you hear some terminology as part of the Spring framework. These terminology is more than sufficient. You no need to learn all the concepts in the Spring framework also. Okay, now even who non-technical guys also can easily understand here. Okay, now the terminology the Spring framework is giving, IOC container. Just here the terminology will be discussed each one as part of the next sessions. IOC container, inversion of control, okay, application context, component scanning, dependency injection, Spring beans, and auto wiring. So these six, whatever we have the terminology, these classes are interfaces. These are more than sufficient to know about your Spring Boot or REST API or microservices. Just you get some idea on this terminology. We will be discuss as part of our sessions based on our context. I will be explain these all the points. Till now, are you guys clear? What is a framework? Types of framework, and which type of applications we can develop using Spring framework? Can I see in the chat box? Every day you need to habituate, you need to open one notepad file, okay, and whatever the doubts you have, make a note everything. So whenever I'm asking, just you can ask one more time. Suppose if you are not clear, anyway we are providing the video, just you can listen one more time also, no problem. Still if you are not clear, again, okay, maybe as part of our sessions I can explain you one more time also. Okay. Okay. So this is about the Spring framework here. Just what is the main content? What is a framework? How many types of frameworks we have? Which kind of applications you can develop using the Spring? That's it. Still, we will be discuss about the what is a Spring framework, what is web application, what is distributed application. These are all the things we will be explaining in the coming sessions. Don't worry. Just the main intent of today's session is just to know the terminology. That's it. Okay, for the very first time you may get some confusion, I know, but if you listen one more time this session, definitely you will get the clarity based on the points. Clear? Next, now what is Spring framework here? Okay, you can ignore here what is about REST API, what is full stack, what is micro. These are all like individual modules. These modules I will be explaining in the coming sessions. I mean to say these kind of applications you can develop by using the Spring. What it is internally, we will be discussing in the coming sessions, not now. Okay. Then now, what is Spring framework? Now we are going to start our the main content. Now see here, the Spring framework. Okay, it is a popular framework for building Java applications. In term, when I say Java application, okay, you should have an idea about what is standalone application, what is web application, what is distributed application. These points also I will be explaining the coming sessions, but right now by using the Spring framework we can build our applications. This Spring framework is written by Rod Johnson, is the author, and was first released under Apache 2.0 license in June 2003. This is the Spring framework. And basically Spring is a alternative framework for EJB technology. For simplifying the problems of EJB, they introduced this Spring. So what is EJB, how it is working, we no need to worry. Due to some issues, because of some problems, EJB is another technology to build enterprise level applications. Enterprise Java Bean, EJB means. So Spring is a alternative framework. Here EJB technology is very heavyweight. Without server you cannot work, it's completely dependent. Okay, without Tomcat server you cannot build the application, but due to some problems because of the EJB technology, the Spring is introduced. Here one point you need to remember, whatever learning concepts in the Spring framework completely copied from the EJB technology only. On top of the EJB, they simplified the Spring framework. It is very tough to learn EJB technology. So that's why Spring is the more popular. Even nowadays in industries, banking old projects, legacy projects, still using the EJB technology only. Maybe they started somewhere in the world, 2003, 2004. By that time, maybe 2000 year, they are using this technology here. Later the Spring framework is came in the market, it is so popular here. And another very important point guys, okay, Spring is a framework, which provide, if you see, which provide a bunch of classes, so many number of classes, helper classes. By using these, we no need to write, here I'm highlighting one point, we no need to write boilerplate logic in our code. Spring provide an abstract layer on J2EE technology, like whatever we have a servlets, JSP, JDBC. On top of that, those technologies, the Spring is providing one layer. Here, one important point you need to understand here, boilerplate logic. Okay, this boilerplate logic to understand here. Now, for example, who are from Java background, who knows the JDBC? If I want to communicate, okay, Java program to database using JDBC technology, what are the steps I need to take care if you want to connect to a database? Can I see in the chat box? You should have some basic idea, at least how you can do programming. Don't know, that's fine, but at least you should know about a core Java, Java 8, and basic understanding about a JDBC. That is more than sufficient. Can I know what are the steps you need to follow while communicating to our JDBC? Maybe I give an option to talk to you guys. Yes, please go ahead, someone. At least one person.
We need to include JDBC jar files in our application.
Okay. Then?
And I think we need connection.
Okay.
Between application and JDBC.
Okay.
And
others also can help to Vinod also, guys. You don't need to sit a bit silent, no issues.
Yeah, connection, statements, and result sets.
Result set. I mean to
queries.
Yeah,
queries. Statements and queries.
Okay. First step is we need to start about the driver class. Am I true? Loading the driver. Without a driver, you cannot connect. I mean to say, you are connecting a MySQL, you are connecting the Oracle, which database you are communicating, that driver class is required. Second one is creating the connection. You need to provide a connection to your database like a URL, username, password you need to provide. Once a connection is success, you need to create the statement object or prepared statement, whatever we have, in order to prepare your queries. If you want to handle the exception, either you need to handle try catch block or you can use the throws. Definitely you should handle the exception when you are communicating simple JDBC application. And here we can create the query like creating the table or updating the table or deleting the table. You should write SQL query. Even if you don't know SQL, you cannot write our JDBC application. And how we can execute, like after executing, you will get a result set object or whatever updated record, whatever you have, you will get the result. And a last point is we need to close the connection. Now, for a simple employee record, I want to store employee information in the database. That is our requirement. Now, to perform this action, okay, every developer, whoever joined, if I ask you this requirement, everyone need to follow these 7 steps. Now, these 7 steps we can call as a boilerplate code. These 7 steps we can call as a boilerplate code. Every programmer need to write the same code. So this kind of boilerplate code we no need to write. Here I'm highlighting, we no need to write if you are using the frameworks. Now in our use case, by using the Spring framework on top of J2EE technology, they are come up with the different types of modules. By using those modules, this whole piece of code you can avoid it here. No need to write. Here's a simple, I want to use some Spring JDBC. That's it. Or Hibernate. You no need to write these all lines of code. This is the meaning of the boilerplate code. So by using the Spring framework, we can develop the projects rapidly with minimum lines of code without any bugs our development cost and also times also reduced here. So everything taken care by your framework itself, you no need to worry. Even you cannot find the bugs also. If you're using the JDBC, some guys can done some kind of a while writing statement had done mistake. Maybe while doing exceptions they done some mistake or creating. So these kind of we can avoid it if you use the framework here. Hope you get some better idea what is a framework and what is a Spring framework, what it can do. The main point is we no need to write boilerplate logic in our code. It is providing an abstract layer on J2EE here. Still not yet done. We have still other points we need to discuss here. Now, as of now, you are using what is Spring framework, but why? Why to choose a Spring framework? Why to choose? We have some couple of points. Okay, we will be discussing in detail why we need. First point is Spring is non-invasive in nature. What exactly means? When you are writing a class, when you are implementing any functionality, you don't need to extend, you no need to extend any classes or implement any interfaces to your class. Whatever Spring framework is providing libraries and classes, by default you no need to extend in your project. That is the meaning of non-invasive. But whereas EJB technology we have, but in EJB it is a invasive. Without extending any class, you cannot develop your application, even in the structs also. So that is the meaning. That is the first point, non-invasive. And second point is Spring is versatile. That means you can integrate with any existing technology in your project. Wherever, if you have a Spring libraries in your project, wherever you want, you can use. By default, even Spring can able to like integrate with other modules like Hibernate we have. Okay, Hibernate is different, Spring is different. Now we can integrate both. Okay, inside a Spring we can integrate Hibernate, we can integrate Apache Kafka and Spring security, lot of things we have. That's why it is a versatile here. And by using the Spring, we can provide end-to-end project development. End-to-end here, the meaning is, if you see clearly, end-to-end is nothing but complete UI layer. Okay, development layer, business layer, I mean to say our service layer, our repository is nothing but persistence layer. All the modules we can develop using the Spring framework here. Okay, and here Spring is lightweight. Lightweight means, suppose if you are working on one module, see, if you want to work on a module, you no need to learn complete the Spring here. Whichever module you are comfortable, that module you need to learn here. That is the meaning of Spring is lightweight. In Spring is providing so many number of modules are available. You no need to learn all the modules. Whichever module is required as part of your requirement, like only JDBC or Spring DAO or Spring MVC, just you need to learn that specific module. That's why the Spring is lightweight here. You no need to learn all the concepts. And Spring supports a dependency injection. It's very, very important. Dependency means what? If you want to work something, you have a dependency on another guy. Like maybe that guy need to provide some input, then only you can work. Like in terms of the Java, we have so many number of classes with different functionality, but I want to invoke other functionality in my class. Then how you can achieve? In core Java we are doing ourselves, we are managing by ourselves, but here Spring support this kind of injection called dependency injection here. Okay, and what is dependency injection, how we can develop with the help of examples, we will be discuss all these points. Okay, you no need to worry about that part. And Spring supports multiple project development. I mean to say core Java application, a web application, a distributed application, or enterprise application. We can call anything. Some people used to call distributed, some people used to call as a enterprise. Here in detail we'll discuss about what is web application, what are the examples we have, what is distributed, and which concepts we can call, we will be discuss. But higher level, to know what is a Spring framework, just I'm explaining. And Spring supports AOP, aspect oriented programming for cross cutting concerns. This is also an important module, but as part of our basic sessions we are not taking care about the AOP here. It's again kind of a huge course, that is also AOP module. This is a separate module we have. But in the Spring framework, as it is providing so many number of modules, without knowing AOP I can work my with Spring Boot also. Without knowing Spring MVC, I can work with my Spring framework. I can work with the Spring Boot. So that's why the Spring is a lightweight. One important point I'm highlighting here, Spring is not a replacement of J2EE API. Some people used to call it is a replacement. No, not at all. Why? Because Spring is internally using J2EE API to come up with the own classes here. Basically servlets it is using on top of our Spring only. See, servlets on top of Spring is introduced. Internally everything is a servlets only when you are when you talk about a web application. Okay, hope you guys are clear why to choose Spring framework. Some couple of points I highlighted here, and in the previous slide we discussed about what is boilerplate code and what are the things. But Spring is providing what are the modules. If you see Spring modules, if you see here, Spring is a vast framework. It is divided into several modules. No module is dependent to another. As just now I told, if you want to work with the Spring, here if you see here JDBC module, ORM module, JMS module, transaction module, web, portlet, AOP, core container, Spring Bean, Spring Core, Spring Context, expression language, test. We have so many number of modules we have. If you want to work with our Spring, you no need to learn all the modules here. So that's why no module is dependent to another except Spring Core. That is the what we are learning now. This is Spring Core container. Here we have like a IOC container, application context, component scanning. These are core features you should know when you are learning any module here. All modules are dependent on the Spring Core itself. Maybe if you know the OXM, I don't know the OXM, so you no need to worry about here. Portlet, if you don't know, ignore. AOP, you can ignore. Which module is sufficient? Only that module we will be learn when we are discussing about a Spring Boot framework. We are using some kind of some couple of modules here, like a Java messaging. So it's kind of a Kafka system here, or a module we will be used as part of data JPA. Other modules we will be learn. These are all kind of a history behind about the Spring modules we have. Okay. And here, if you observe here, these modules, if you think about a, like I mean to say, core module, in the core module, most fundamental, okay, as I told, this is the fundamental parts of the framework like IOC container and dependency injection features you can use. And even context module, here are able to see context module. This context module is providing on top of the core, and it is supporting internationalization, I18N, JMS, EJB, remoting, like advanced concepts it is supporting here. Okay, now as part of our applications, any application, the context module is responsible to take care about all the configurations here. And if you take data access, right now, just now I discussed about if you want to connect to a database using JDBC, we discussed some couple of points. Those are all the points is given some replacement like using JDBC module here, Spring JDBC. You no need to write all the classes, everything taken care by your JDBC. If you know the Hibernate, same kind of steps we can develop using ORM framework. Object relational mapping is nothing but Hibernate and JPA. Okay, now these modules are responsible to store data in the database. Here this is completely about the data, MySQL database, Oracle database, transactions management, everything taken care by here. And AOP module, this AOP module is a kind of a secondary logic if you want to implement apart from your business, like transactions, logging, auditing. If you want to apply any cross-cutting concerns, AOP module is responsible here. Okay, ORM solutions, I mean to say, not only the Hibernate in the market, we have like a open JPA, top link, iBatis, and so on. Other ORM solutions are available. Basically, this ORM we will be used as part of our sessions. I mean to say, we can store our object data. In core Java, you know what is an object, like an employee object. That whole employee object we can store into our database. That is the importance of the ORM module here. Okay, so this is all about your just modules. What are the modules are available to get some idea, just I discussed here to you. Okay, now if you want to set up environment setup, if you want to create any application, you should do some environment setup here. Right now, here Spring environment setup or Spring Boot or anything is the same. Previously the way of setup is difficult, now it is very easy here. Okay, we are going for the easy structure, not the legacy approach here. As I told, if you want to work with the Spring, you should have minimum Java 8 version. Okay, if you Spring 5 require onwards, Java 8 again. Maybe if you want to use the latest version, JDK 17 is required here. That we will not require. In my system I have a Java 17. If you want, you can install the JDK 17 or Java 8 also. Okay, how to install the Java software, how to install this Spring IDE setup. We have the videos in our YouTube. I don't want to spend in the classroom, that you can do yourself here, guys. Okay, and you need one IDE here, either Eclipse, IntelliJ or STS as part of our sessions. Okay, in my system we are using STS here. Here using this tool, you can develop any kind of application, like Spring Boot applications more easy if you work with STS here. If you use Eclipse or IntelliJ, you should have a license version, else it is some kind of a difficult you are doing here. So you can use either STS, this is a recommended approach I am saying, and you need the Java 8 or JDK 17, whatever software is required, you can use it here. Okay, now let me give you I mean to say videos to you. If you don't know how to install the Java software, let me share you some links to you guys. Then after session completion, you can do by yourself. Still you are facing some kind of issues, maybe I can help you that approach, guys. Okay, somewhere here software installation should be there. Let me, yes, software installation. Just you can save this link. This link will be helpful throughout our sessions to you guys. Okay, I'm sharing this link on our group chat, and as well as in your normal Spring Boot group also I will be share you how to install Java 8 on Windows 10, how to install JDK 11, and recently how to install JDK 17 in Windows. Sometimes I used to use JDK 17 as part of our sessions. Even I will try to use Java 11 feature, Java 15 feature, some couple of important features I will be used as part of my project development here. So that's why I am using both Java 8 and as well as JDK 17 is available in my system. Now if you want to know, let me show you here. Now see in the C drive, program files have a Java folder. See JDK 1.8 and JDK 17. Whichever path you are setting, that path you can able to verify in the command prompt here. Now Java hyphen version. See, JDK 17 is required. As part of a developer, throughout our course, you should install about the Maven also. Okay, and even you should install the Git also. These are all the softwares is required for every developer, every programmer. These softwares are required here. Okay, as of now, as part of our discussions to work with it, initial settings is Java hum, and here see download and install STS in Windows 10 or Windows 11. You can follow. This is 7 minutes of session. How to download and how to open. Watch this video here, guys. So that in the once this setup is completed, we can explain how to create the application in the next session, not today. Before that, I need to discuss some couple of points. So by that time you can complete this video here. Just I given this a whole link to you. Just you can follow this YouTube channel. Okay, now let me come to our PPT, and this is about the environment setup. Here setup is step is completed. That you can do yourself. Is it clear for everyone? Any concerns? It won't take more than 10 minutes to you guys to do that action. That is a self-placed. I don't want to spend that 15 minutes in the classroom. I don't want to waste your time and my time for the setup here. So that's why. Okay. For the beginners, I'm explaining to you guys. For the already experienced people, working professionals, then it is a good. Who don't know, who like a freshers. I don't think so. Freshers are there here. Everything all are working professionals only. I don't think so. You will face any issues, environment setup. Okay. Next. The first terminology in the Spring framework, we are going to discuss about IOC container. This is the, you should have some idea about what is IOC container here. IOC, okay, is nothing but inversion of control. Even in interviews, it's very, very important, this point here. Okay, here inversion of control. Before discussing, now tell me in core Java, okay, if I want a object, programmer is responsible to create the object. Programmer is responsible to create the object. How you will create? Employee emp equal to new employee object. Now every time when you are creating the object, memory will be allocated in the JVM level. If you need, okay, 3 objects, employee 1 like employee 2, you can create the objects here. Suppose if you need another object, address object, address is equal to new address object. Now you are, as a programmer, you are creating the object creation. That control is in our hand. But when you are learning the Spring framework, this object creation or managing, now here employee is dependent on address, right? Employee has a temporary address or permanent address or whatever, one residence address you can have. Here there is a dependency is also available here. How you will be create? Suppose if this is a individual object, this is an individual object. In core Java, if you want to make a relation, how you can do? You can create some kind of a constructor, and you need to create here. This is called dependency injection. This is called dependency. Without creating address, you cannot create employee. So in employee class, you should have a constructor of employee of supporting address as a reference here. This is a normal core Java here. Now as a programmer, you are creating, okay, these lines of statements. But if you know, if you use a Spring framework IOC container, we are giving a control to the container to get instance of object. to retrieve the object data from container level. Inside a JVM, you can create any number of IOC containers when you are using only one IOC container. So this is a responsible to get instance of object is called IOC. What it will do, IOC container is generating here objects and giving to the programmer. Now whatever objects you are creating, employee object here, address object, this will be generating for you. You no need to create these kind of injections. Okay, container will be generating the objects and giving to the programmer. And by doing this action, we can achieve the loose coupling between the object dependencies. When you get as a loose coupling means when you have in core Java one kind of a pattern, I think factory design pattern, like one interface, you can have many number of classes. Then in that use case, instead of doing a tight coupling, this is completely a core Java basics. Okay, then just you can go ahead what is a loose coupling and tight coupling. And here we can achieve the loose coupling between the object dependencies. Here I'm clearly explaining object dependencies, employee and address. Okay, without creating yourself, this is a simplification taken care by your IOC here. By default, IOC container maintaining singleton object to you, singleton design pattern. Whoever don't know, please go ahead. These are all the normal, as a working professionals, you should have an idea about what is a singleton design pattern. You can create only one object at container level, not JVM level. JVM level singleton design pattern is different here. Container level singleton pattern is different here. By default, your IOC container creating only one object for all the Java classes. If you have a employee object, if you are trying to create another object, you will get the same reference, not the new object here. That is the meaning here. The main primary functions of our IOC container is creating and managing the objects and inject object dependencies using the concept of dependency injection. Okay, IOCs are responsible perform creating the objects and managing the objects. And if you want to inject a dependencies, we are using as a dependency injection. For the simplifying, this all the IOC will be take care. Even IOC will take care this action. But if you see here, employee is a dependent on address reference. This kind of we can perform with the help of the dependency injection here. Dependency injection. Okay, like it will be perform some task creating the objects, configuring the objects, and assemble the dependencies between the objects. This is the meaning of the IOC container. We'll be discuss what is a dependency injection also. Don't worry. Okay, once we are good at the fundamentals, then we can go for the advanced concepts also, guys. Okay, now but in Spring framework, which type of IOC containers are available? Which container you need to learn? We have a some couple of containers are available. Just have a look this diagram. Here we have some containers are available. Bean factory, one IOC container. Application context, an IOC container. Web application context, one IOC container. These are all called as a interfaces. See, I represents interfaces here. Interfaces. If you are using Bean factory is the top level. Okay, for this interface has one implementation class is nothing but XML Bean factory. If you are using application context, we have file system application context, class path XML application context, and annotation config application context. The recommended approach now project development, everyone following using annotation config application context here. If you are developing web applications like UI based applications, then Web application context interface implementations are annotation config, web application context, and XML. Nowadays, in the before Spring Boot, people used to use this Bean Factory XML based approach, file system based approach, class dot XML based approach used to follow these three classes. Now, in the latest versions, completely this Bean Factory is deprecated. Now everyone is using a context IOC container. Here you should have some kind of a terminology. People used to say like this also, guys. They can say as a IOC container or Spring context. They can use as a Spring context here. This is the meaning of like a container is managing to generating the objects here. But as part of our demo sessions, not only demo sessions, but as part of our learning plan, we will try to use annotation. This is the one is the people are expecting. Even in interviews also, they will be used only. No one will ask with the help of the XML. Okay, now Spring applications, the working part using annotation level, not XML based approach here. Now, as part of our the next session, we will be use how to create the context application, how to inject our application here. Before this is IOC container, you get some idea what is a container, what are the responsibilities you have, you get some idea. And you should understand one more point here. I see a lot of people, there is a confusion. Now I can ask you some question here. You guys now give what is the difference between, okay, Pojo class, okay, Pojo class. Who knows about Spring also, you guys can give a response also. What is Java Bean and what is Spring Bean? I want to know what are the differences between these terminology here. Terminology. I give an option to talk to you guys. Yes, please go ahead. Anyone? Yes, Pojo means plain old Java object. What exactly plain old Java object means? Whoever knows idea, you can explain, guys. No problem.
So in Pojo class, we can have the getters and setters of that primitives.
Okay.
Uh, and I am not aware of Java.
Okay, no problem, no problem. This is a good try. Others, you
In
can
the
have a
po-
try now. No
yeah,
problem.
in the Pojo classes, they are the all property we have declared inside the class, and also we have the getter setters we have implemented inside here.
Okay, then what about Java Bean? Ignore about Spring Bean. That is who guys you don't know. But if you know about normal core Java application means you should have some idea about these two differences between these three.
And Java beans, I think when we created the just like the Pojo classes,
Mhm.
they are the internally they are implemented the parsable interfaces. Sorry, parsable,
Okay, okay.
serializable interfaces and
Exactly. Correct, correct, correct. Yes, a good try. Yeah. Thank you, Sunil. Now see here, now let me give some couple of points to you. You should have some idea here also. Pojo class means you don't have any constraints. Any normal Java class we can call as a Pojo class. Plain old Java objects. You have only the variables. You no need to specify any setters and any getters also not required. If suppose you have a like this, see here, employee object. Suppose you have assumed that this is a class. Now you have some variables, private int id, okay, private string name. Now suppose here some compose you overrided some kind of toString method, whatever the methods. Now I can call this is a Pojo class here, plain old Java object. This is the meaning of plain old Java object. Now the second one is Java Bean. When you say as a Java Bean, you need to follow three constraints here. Three constraints. First constraint is you should have, okay, default constructor. you should write in your Java bean. Even compiler place, you should write your constructor. That is the first. Second, you should provide public setter and getter methods. That is the second. And third, you should implement the serializable interface to make it as a Java bean here. To make it as a Java bean here. Now see here. Now Java bean Pojo, default constructor, setter and getter methods, and a serializable. Then we can call as a Java bean. Now Pojo means any Java object is a Pojo class, plain old Java object. We don't have any constraints. But whereas a Spring Bean, now Java Bean or Pojo, you are creating the objects and you are managing the dependencies. But when I say as a Spring Bean, any normal Java class, whether it is a Java bean, whether it is a Pojo class, is initialized by your container. Just now we discussed, right? IOC container is called as a Spring Bean. Why? This is IOC manager container managing the life cycle of your Spring Bean, bean scopes, dependency injections. If you have anything, everything taken care by your IOC container. This is the difference between the Java Bean, Pojo class, and Spring Bean. Clear this point? Clear? Confirm in the chat box quickly. We are going to complete in another 2 minutes our session. Don't worry. So this is the difference between the Java Bean versus Pojo versus the Spring Bean here. Okay, in the tomorrow session we are going to start, okay, how to declare as a Spring Bean, okay, and how many ways you can develop, how to create the project, and completely a live coding in the tomorrow session. There is no much theory session by tomorrow. Completely a coding part we will be do in the tomorrow session. Hope I given as a complete information to you. Whatever I know, I didn't start it directly. It's a Spring Boot. You should on about Spring framework also. That's why I'm teaching here, guys. Okay, guys, we have only 3 seats are left. Only 3 seats. After 3 seats, we are going to close our registrations. You need to wait till next batch only. Okay, if you are not yet done, now immediately you can talk to our admin team. Now you already have a number, right? WhatsApp number in the group. Just you can get it, the admin number, and either you can drop email also if you want. You can try to close your payment process today. Okay, after 3 seats, we will try to close our registrations completely, guys. Okay, yeah, today's session I will be upload. Maybe it may take 1-2 hours. We will be upload in our YouTube channel here. Guys, if you are not yet subscribe and share to your friends and colleagues. Okay, and it will be a more helpful to our channel growth also. Okay, thank you, guys. So that's all today's session. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I will clarify in the chat box. Yeah. Good session. Yeah, thank you, guys. Yes, any questions, guys? I give an option to talk to you. You may attend n number of sessions, no issues. I mean to say, maybe other institutes also you can add sessions. Our quality of content, whatever we have, everything we have. Why implement serializable interface? That is the concept of a Java bean a serialization process. That is completely. We will be discuss what is there is no specific layers here. Enterprise level application we will be discuss, no issues. Yes, you will get the video. We will be uploading our YouTube after some time. Our team need to work and they need to upload the session here. You will get it. Just join this Telegram group, guys. Okay, as I told Java Express, this is the group. All the updates you will get it here. Now, MVC is a UI based application. We are not handling any UI based application. We are backend developer, and still if you need MVC videos, just check with the admin team once that part MVC. Okay. Okay, if you're done with your questions, please, then we can drop off, guys. And thank you. We'll catch up tomorrow session. Bye bye. Yes, all the sessions you will get the recorded. You will have access for 10 days. After 10 days, it will expire automatically, Manoj. Okay, either you can get video in the Google Drive, either you can get video from the Zoom link. Based on admin team will give a info to you until you complete the video session. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.